Welcome back into another new session. I hope all of you are doing great, and I'm sure that this particular chapter is not very easy, but I'm sure it's a very interesting chapter if you are going to listen over and over again what is being taught to you. And I feel that even in the future these topics are going to be very useful for you. Reason because this particular chapter is going to teach you how to make money or how to earn your money. So if you are going to be earning 20,000 or let's say 15,000, you can double that money through investing it into shares and debentures or into buying your money market instruments. Last session we learned about primary market, we learned about the methods of flotation, we compared what is the difference between primary market, secondary markets. Okay, so we also learned about secondary market. The meaning of stock exchange is what we are going to be learning today, and the functions of stock exchange or stock markets. Both means the same. Secondary market refers to the stock exchange, stock market. So again, coming back to the basics, your primary market is the market where you are selling shares directly either to the investor or to the broker, or through you're selling the shares for the first time, and we're not talking about old shares, we're talking about new shares here when we are talking about primary market. But when it comes to a secondary market, I'll again mention here, we are talking about new shares in the primary market. But when we are talking about secondary market, we are talking about existing shares or shares which were already sold to the public, and further the shares are being sold by the public to another investors. So through a mechanism of stock exchange here. So even here, when it comes to the primary market, you have stock exchange in place, but the shares that you're selling are new shares. But when it comes to secondary market, the shares are old shares. That is the meaning of your market. Now, coming back to the mind map, we are learning the topic called the second half of the chapter, which is called the secondary market, where we have already completed about primary market. Now this particular topic, these topics are very important. So I just thought, let me put the mind map again for you so that you're not lost. You are aware which topic we are covering, what are the things we're going to do next, and you know how things work out. So the meaning of stock exchange is going to come for a 2-marker, and most of the papers they ask you what are the functions of stock exchange or stock market, which comes as an 8-marker. So topics are very important. This chapter itself is very important, and later we would be doing trading and settlement procedure. Okay, so it's very important for you to understand as I am teaching you the topics, and listen to the sessions over and over again so that it's not very complicated for you. It's a piece of cake if you are able to understand the mind map, what comes into the chapter, how the chapter is divided. So in today's session, I'm going to be talking about secondary market and the stock exchange. Secondary market refers to stock exchange or the stock markets. Both mean one and the same. And what is the meaning and the function of stock exchange or stock market? Now, what is secondary market? All of you know secondary market refers to you are selling the shares which are already being sold. We are not talking about shares which are sold for the first time to the investors. What is happening here? See, we are talking about primary market. Again, I have put here for you. The shares are being sold by the company directly to the investors in the primary market. And these investors are selling the shares to another investor in secondary market. So that's the meaning of secondary market. So what is the meaning here? Put it into layman terms, secondary market refers to a market where securities refers to shares, your debentures, which are traded or which were already being initially offered to the public in the primary market. Okay, so these shares are being sold over and over again. They are not new shares. So majority of the trading is done in the secondary market. That means public people, normal people go ahead, they log on to the stock exchange market. There are a lot of websites which you can find. Later on in the sessions when we are doing the other topics, I will list down the websites where you can Google and see how exactly shares are sold. So Major of the trading is done through the secondary market, and secondary market comprises of equity shares and your preference shares. Okay, we are talking about the shares being bought and sold here. So secondary market is also known as stock market, which is very important for you to understand. Otherwise, some of them would actually be wondering what is stock market, what is secondary market. You need to understand secondary market is also known as stock market or stock exchange. All these terminologies are one and the same. So it refers to buying and selling of existing securities. We are not talking anything about new securities. We are only talking about buying and selling of existing securities which are over and over again. Now, what is this stock exchange or stock market? For again going into the detail meaning. Okay, it's an institution which provides a platform. So how exactly it works? You have a company here. I'm just figuring out what color to use so that you're able to see. Okay, you have a company here. Okay, and this company is registered with the stock market or stock exchange. Okay, and you have the public or you have brokers here. Okay, so what is happening? Okay, I'm sorry, you don't have brokers here. The brokers are here. Okay, so several brokers are there in the stock exchange, and the public contacts the brokers, and the brokers help to buy and sell the shares from the company. So the company goes ahead and advertises, or they go ahead and publish the shares in the stock exchange or stock market, and they have stock exchange or stock markets have registered brokers who have done a lot of coursework and education, and they help the public to buy and sell the shares. And we're not talking about new shares, we're already talking about existing shares. So that's the meaning of stock exchange. So what is happening? It is helping to buy shares and debentures, and it also helps to sell the shares and debentures. So buying is also happening, selling is also happening. That is why you have the picture here. The next one is it helps. So what is happening? The companies can get money, and the individuals can also earn money. So when you are selling the shares, what is happening? You are getting your money. Example, you bought the share of, let's say, IBM for 100 rupees. When you're selling it for 150 rupees. So whatever share you bought from IBM has got money, and you are also investing your money there. So after 1 year, you're selling that shares for 150 rupees. So you're making a profit. So the next one is a very important topic, and it's a very simple topic. Now look at the picture here. This is how your stock exchanges work. Okay, people who are into buying and selling of securities and shares continuously keep watching the news to see which company shares are rising, which company shares are dropping or falling. And it is a risk factor to invest your money into these share markets. Reason because you need to do a proper study, and only then you can put your money into it, because it's a very big risk, and some people lose their entire earnings or savings into these stock markets. So you need to do a proper study, and you need to be very careful. Otherwise, you need to take the help of certain brokers who can help you to buy the shares and later help you to sell the shares as well. But again, it's people who have actually interacted with, they've always told me it's 50% loss and 50% profit. And there are a lot of websites where you yourself can actually learn through a lot of these YouTube videos. You can learn how to buy shares and how to sell shares, and which are the websites. Probably later I would post certain videos so that you can watch them, and you can know how your subject or topics are related into the real world. So functions of stock exchange is a very important date marker. Okay, now what is the importance, or what are the functions of this stock exchange? Okay, now what is it? How does this question deal? How do you deal with the question? Functions of stock exchange. Stock exchange means what? It is a it's between the company, and it's between the let's say it's between the public. It is let's say it is registered stock markets or stock exchanges by the country itself. Like you have New York Stock Exchange, you have Security Exchange Board of India. Okay, it's the stock market of India. and you have Bangalore Stock Exchange, Chennai Stock Exchange. All these are places which looks like this, where continuously buying and selling of shares happens through brokers and through investors, and different companies profits and losses and drops of share values, everything gets published through the stock exchange. So it's a mechanism. So what is its importance? Okay, its importance is it's providing liquidity and marketable to existing securities. That means what? You can buy the securities whenever you want, you can sell the securities whenever you want. Okay, you can buy the security whenever you want, you can sell the security, and you can get back your cash. Why? We are not talking about new shares here, we are talking about old existing shares. So buying and selling happens through the stock exchange. Then pricing of securities. What's the meaning of pricing of securities? If it is new securities, new issue means you are buying it at 50 rupees, and through the stock exchange people can buy the security for 100 rupees also. They can sell the same security for 200 rupees also. So what are they saying? Pricing of securities, there are certain rules and regulations of the stock exchange where brokers are the ones. Now people who we are seeing here are a lot of brokers and a lot of heads of stock exchanges. These people cannot cheat the public, okay, because public don't know how to buy the shares and sell the shares. So the brokers have a cutoff percentage where they will sell the shares to the public, and continuously the stock exchange is monitoring what the brokers are doing. So the third one is it gives safety of transaction to the funds of the investors. Why safety of transaction? Because there are certain ways where these brokers end up cheating the public, because public do not know things. They go and they invest their money. So sometimes the brokers get a lot of commission when they are doing this. Yes, the brokers do take the commission. That is how brokers earn. So sometimes these brokers, their commission, what they charge to the public, is very high. So what is happening? That time the stock exchange, that is the Security Board of Exchange Board of India, it's a government party, and these people will interfere and find out how these brokers are making money, whether they are doing it in a legal way, whether they're cheating the public. So safety is given to the public with whatever money they are investing into the stock market. And it also contributes to the economic growth. Why? Because when people go ahead and invest their money into the shares, after a period of time you will sell the shares for more money. So definitely you're earning more money, you're saving your money, and the company is also growing. You are also growing by earning more profits. So definitely the entire economy is growing. Spreading equity cult. What is this equity cult? Equity cult is nothing but the culture, what they are carrying out. That refers to their let's say they are giving security, safety of transaction, they are leading to equity, economic growth. So they are ensuring that their culture that they are following is very strong. They have a framework where they're giving protection even to the buyer, even to the seller. So that's how their culture is kept intact. That is, we are talking about stock exchange or stock market. Next one is providing scope for speculation. Speculation means what? You are given a platform where you can buy and sell any company shares, and you can choose whichever company you want to buy. You're given the freedom to decide. Then economic barometer. What is happening here? They're always doing a thorough checkup of how the organizations, or how they are selling their shares. They have a thorough study of the organizations before they let the organizations register with the stock exchanges, and they ensure that these brokers are also buying the shares and they are not selling it for a very high price. So there is a lot of security, and there's a lot of things that is being checked by the stock exchanges, which leads to the economic barometer and growth throughout our nation. Then it promotes the habits of saving and investment, that refers to your public. Okay, going down to the points here. Providing liquidity and marketable to securities. These are the same notes which I've already given you, but terminologies I have just underlined. So now what is the liquidity? What is liquidity? You have purchased an asset, you can sell the asset easily and convert it into cash. That is what is liquidity. So what is happening here? When you buy your shares of the organization, these shares can easily be converted into cash. How? By disinvestment and reinvestment. Whenever you have a shortage of cash, you can sell your shares anytime. You can convert it into money. Anytime you want to invest into shares, you can reinvest that money. So it's made very easy. It is not very complicated to buy and sell the shares. So that's the first point. Second one is pricing of securities. What is it? Pricing of securities depend on the demand and the supply. Now, what is this demand and supply? If the organizations are doing extremely well, earning a lot of profit, their prices of shares would not be less. They would price their shares high, definitely. Why? Because the organization is doing really good. But let's say the organizations are falling, example, due to this corona COVID situation, pandemic, the fall of the share prices is it's falling. So this is the right time if you want to invest in shares, and you can invest in shares, buy the shares, keep it for a long period of 5 years or 3 years, and then your stock markets will improve, your economy will improve, and then you can sell the shares. So then you can make more money. So what are they saying? Stock exchange continuously monitors how much the price of the security is being sold for, whether it is high, whether it is low. They continuously have a valuation. They keep checking so that people don't beat it. The third one is safety of transaction. What is safety of transaction? They have a legal framework. So even if the public is going ahead and they want to buy the shares, they have to register to a stock exchange and they have to follow a lot of formalities. They have to open a demat account and they have to pay for the demat account. They will be given a user ID and password, and with the help of the user ID and password only, they can go ahead and buy and sell the shares. So that the public is also not cheated. They're getting a fair deal of the shares that they're buying, and the person who's helping them to buy the share, the brokers, are also truthful in what they're doing. So everything is transparent. There is no cheating that can happen. Even if the broker tries to cheat, the broker will be thrown out of his job from the stock market, and he cannot again be a broker who can help people to buy and sell the shares. The fourth one is it contributes to economic growth. How? Because you're helping in disinvestment, you're helping to resell, you're helping to buy new shares also. So what is happening? What is happening here? The entire economy is growing. And why? Because the companies are growing. So definitely the entire economy will also grow. But now if you see, the share markets are going down because of the pandemic, as well as people are very scared to invest the money into the shares, and India's economic growth rate is also falling very badly. Why? People are thrown out of their jobs. So what is happening? The growth rate is fallen down. The economic growth rate is fallen down. But definitely it's not going to be the same situation 5 years down the lane. All this pandemic would be over, and definitely people will earn a lot of money, because companies will also earn a lot of money. The next one is the next one is spreading of equity cult. Now, what is the meaning of equity cult? Now, equity cult is nothing but your culture. Okay. Every stock market has their own vital roles and rules and regulations that they are following. And now what is happening is, if you want to do a course, if you want to become a broker, many people are minting money. Many people are helping people to buy and sell shares, because this is a place where people are minting money, earning a lot of money. So you have a lot of courses, okay, just like your BCom, your NCom, like that. You have a lot of courses where you can study through these courses. You can become a registered let's say in broker and an investor, and you can help a lot of people in buying and selling of shares. So what is happening? The culture which was not there, let's say 20 years back, not everybody had a proper educational course which we could follow and learn and do. But now there is a culture which is followed, and this is helping the generations to come. It's helping them, and it's teaching them how they can utilize their money to invest into all these shares and debentures and all these things. So what is it? There is a trading practice that is there, and it ensures a wider share of ownership, and it's helping the people to get educated better in investing their money into these shares. The sixth one is providing scope for speculation. What is this providing scope for speculation? It provides sufficient scope within the provisions. That means it gives proper rules and instructions, and gives them proper, let's say, guidelines, and tells them this is how things should be followed, this is how things takes place, so that people are not cheated. And there is always healthy speculation. Healthy speculation means where people cannot get cheated. People are really aware of how much they're buying the shares for, how much they're going to be selling their shares for, what's the maturity period. It's healthy speculation. Healthy speculation, like I already told you, people are aware, it's transparent, there is no inner hidden agendas here. Things are very crystal clear. So coming down to your again the topic, this topic again is very important. It's an 8 marker. So these are the points that we learned: providing liquidity, marketability securities, pricing of securities, safety of transaction, contributes to economic growth. Now what is it? All this refers to your stock market or your stock exchange, which is helping the public to know what goes on, and how things are being sold, how things are being done in the stock market, so that they are not cheated of their money. So this is a very important answer, and it's a very, very easy answer also. So please ensure that you're learning this topic, and these topics are self-explanatory if you know the meaning. If you know the meaning of stock exchange and stock market, this particular, you just learn the points and explain the points in your own words. That's good to go. So the topics that we covered today in this session was meaning of stock exchange, and meaning of secondary market, and then meaning of secondary market, and the functions of stock exchange. So this is an 8 marker, this is a 2 marker. So in the next session I would be completing trading and settlement procedure, and we would finish these 2 topics. Okay, these 2 topics go hand in hand, so please ensure that you are listening. Anything that you're not aware of, let me know. I would go ahead an extra mile to help you, to do a video or to get in touch with you and teach you how exactly things work. So until the next session, stay blessed, and ensure that any doubts, any comments, please let me know so that I can help you further.